Hello and welcome back to A Diary of a Noob, episode 17. Yes, 17. I'm going to be honest, I did not think this would take this long. And that is with the last couple of episodes, in the end, having been sped up instead of being played at normal speed, which was the original plan. Unfortunately, travelling in the end has proven to be a lot slower and take a lot longer than originally expected. So, for those of you who are watching my coordinates and direction, will notice I am sort of making I'm sort of going back on myself a bit. So, I have potentially cheated just a little bit. Just a little bit. I've used the world seed in the single player world to potentially locate a city with a ship that's not too far from my coordinates. Now, I don't know if this ship has been looted already. I don't know if it's there because I'm not 100% certain if this version is correct. So I went on 1.12. This may not be 1.12. This could actually be an earlier version. And when this was loaded, I don't know. However, I really would like to get this series wrapped up in this episode. I don't really want there to be an episode 18, especially as I was hoping to have this done in 6 to 8 episodes, which, looking back, I realised was completely unrealistic and silly, to say the least. But when I started this series, I was going to do more things. I was going to, have more of a farm set up. I was going to do some fishing, get myself a bow. But then realised I don't actually need all that stuff. So now, this city I've located is further back than I currently am. It's actually back to having to backtrack. So I don't want to just go back the way I came. I could have just backtracked the way I came. The only thing is, if it's there, I probably passed within only a couple hundred blocks of it. But because of the slow render and everything, it wouldn't have showed up. The render distance on 2B, I think, is 8 chunks. So unless I literally, even with using the hacks, ESP search, I wouldn't have found it. Also, if you're looking at my hacks, you'll notice elytra flight is on, and that's only because I'd been on my main account and I forgot to turn it off when the game over. Also, Fulbright's on. That makes absolutely no difference here in the end. That's a yes. Yeah, all the other episodes when I wasn't using hacks, I made sure I turned them off. But I completely forgot when changing over accounts this time around to do so. So yeah, so fingers crossed this will be the last episode. As I previously said, it will end either with me finding an elytra or me dying. So if at the end of this we haven't done either of those two things, then yes, there'll be an episode 18. I'm hoping not. And I wish mining endstone was as quick as this normally. And I wish I could bridge this fast. Well, normally actually I can, bridge this fast. But being on 2B and a laggy server, I've had it happen to me before where it lags as you're placing it and you step back. And of course, the block doesn't actually place. And of course, then you're going straight down into the void. When I have pearls on me at this distance, I don't think they're going to save me. Normally I would not bridge across if I can't see an island behind me. I don't like bridging at the best of times, especially in the end. So I would have travelled around until sun came, until I found something, even if it meant backtracking. But because I'm actually heading to specific coordinates at this point, and like I say, I don't know. I could get there and find there's no city there. I could get there and find there is a city there and a ship, and it's already been looted. So there's no guarantee of success. And I don't want to go back the way I came, because the whole point is having to deal with the challenges of travelling in the end. So if there we go. So if I was to go back the way I'd come and use the bridges I'd already created, that would to me feel like cheating, while using the world seed in a single player world to locate a city. Others might disagree. I've done this many times on other servers. When I joined Constantium, I had to go into the end vanilla to get myself an elytra. Unfortunately, the highways on Constantium don't go out anywhere near as far, so I was having to go out into the open end islands much sooner than I did here. And while there was already lots of pathways that had been bridged, and I was able to use them on a regular occurrence, I did have to make my own pathways, own bridges. So I did try and make things a bit easier for myself by using the world seed. So yeah, that is, something that I've done many times. And okay. We see a chest. Okay, it's just a small tower. Alright. Keep going. Hopefully there is another city soon. And hopefully with a ship. Alright, so it's not looking too great. I'm not seeing any signs of shulks in this one. I think they would show up on my ESP. So let's have a quick look inside and see if so clearly somebody's already been here. That's not looking great for us, I'm not gonna lie. If that had been completely unlooted, then if the next city, if it's there, then there's a good chance that would have been unlooted. But since this one's fairly close to it, I think it's a fairly good assumption that if it is there, that we'll find it already looted. But either way, we are heading to it. If we get there and it's looted, then we will continue on. We won't backtrack. We've sort of been heading to the west, so probably head north and then out west again. So fingers crossed on that one. So yes, so I don't know if anybody will agree with that, me using the world seed to potentially locate a city is fair game, or if it was definitely should be completely vanilla and I should have just kept looking until I eventually found one. However long that may have taken, and not gonna lie, we could still be doing this at episode 25 in that case. It's so much easier to find a city from the air. When you're on the ground, you just miss them so often. And like I was saying about on Constantium, when I first went out into the end, I was on foot. And having been out since with elytras, I find cities so much quicker than I did then. Even ones that had already been looted, it was difficult to find because when you're on the ground, they just don't show up as quickly. So it's sort of, unfortunately, it's one of those things where you are at a disadvantage being on the floor. And I've done on other servers I've played on. There's been a few others I've played on which I don't bother with so much anymore. Where, if I've known the world seed and I'm having to head into the end to get my first elytra for myself without already having one, then I will try and use the world seed to help me. Now, I'll be honest with Constantium, I was also able to use the chunk finder app. Now, I don't know if I'm remembering this incorrectly, but I could have sworn it showed end cities pre 1.12 or 1.12 and before. But when I went on it for this, it only gave me 1.13 to 1.18 or 1.19. It would not give you the option of selecting for end cities before 1.13. If I put in for gateways, they came up, early ones, the same as strongholds. Now I know end cities have been around long before 1.13 because we're on 2B, it's 1.12. You know, we know this. So yeah, I don't know if that's something they've recently done. Maybe the assumption is that up to 1.18 they just didn't change regardless of the version, so they were all the same. But then you'd expect it to say, 1.9 or 1.10 to 1.18 instead of it just not showing anything pre 1.13. So, well, I found that very useful at times to use. It just was no help this time round. Not always been a great help. There's when I was first on Constantium and I was looking for end portals. So because it has had a much smaller player base, the earlier versions didn't load all the area where end portals could be, so it is still possible to find end portals. But it wasn't giving accurate locations where end portals were. I have since found some. I've spent a good bit of time on Constantium looking around. I've even located a few end portals which are 1.19 portals because they are in the deep slate layer. So that is something actually to think about for 2B in the future. That potentially, if 2B was to ever update, we may get more end portals because some will spawn in the deep slate layer. I don't know, knowing House, he probably will potentially might turn off, stronghold spawning. I think he can, you can do that so they don't spawn in. I'm kind of hoping that he doesn't do that because that kind of would be a little bit silly. Hey, I'm doing well. 3 out of 4 water butt clutches. Only one failed, and that was going into the stronghold. For me, I'm on a roll. So yes, we don't know. Potentially we may end up with more strongholds. Still, it's in doubt with the server will update. Previous episode I mentioned that the test server is up. At the moment, as far as I can tell, it's not. It's gone. It's showing as being available, but it's not. If you try to go on it, it's saying server's offline. So it's been up so far for like 2 days. So it could be that he's down for a couple of days while he does some work and maintenance on it. But if you're going to test it, surely over a weekend when you're going to have more players on would be a better time for testing it. But this is Housemaster, and let's face it, since when has he ever done anything that's logical? So we are coming up quite soon on the coordinates. Not seeing anything yet, but fingers crossed we shall hopefully see something come into render in the next few seconds. There we go. Of course, those of you paying attention will notice the gameplay has slowed down, so indicating that maybe we're getting close. Okay. Does it have a ship? It does. Right, I think we're going to need more blocks because I think that's over the void. And of course the game's now being laggy. Right, we don't know if it's been looted, and based on the tower we passed just before, I'm not feeling optimistic, but We are going to find out. Fortunately, we're not showing up any shulkers, so it is over the void. Right, we're going to need stone. Lots of it. Because we're going to have to bridge out and bridge across. So we're not going to go up into the city because we're going to have a hard time dealing with shulks. So we're going to go from underneath, which is my normal strat. Now, we're not showing up any shulks on the SP at the moment, but we could be too far out from it at the moment for them to show up. So, fingers crossed that we may be finally coming to the end of this series. Okay. I'm going to mute again now because I really want to focus on staying alive, because it would be heartbreaking at this point to die, especially to die to the void when potentially we're this close. So, speak to you all again soon. So, as some of you probably have noticed by slight change in my voice, slight change in the volume, that some of the audio on this was recorded while playing, and some of it is being narrated after the fact. So yeah, so this point now, I'm watching this while narrating. So I know how this is going to turn out. I know whether I'm about to fall into the void. I know there's already an elytra there. This is one of the things, as a rule, I much prefer to narrate as I play, because then I can react generally to things as they happen. It's very hard to act shocked and surprised about something when you already know about it. So I'm not giving any spoilers, and that whether there's anything there, whether I'm about to misplace a block and fall into the void. You'll just have to wait and see. But yeah. Oh dear. You can imagine how slow this was. I was originally going to narrate over at normal speed, and it was just so painfully slow, because I just don't trust the server not to glitch me out as I place a block. I have had it happen on this server. I've had it happen on many other servers. Now, it's not normally the end of the world if you're in the overworld or the nether. Worst case scenario, if I die, at least, unless I fell into lava, my items will be still there to try and get back to. But at this point, if I fall, that's it. You know, everything's gone. And as I've said, I won't be coming back. Again, that'll be at end of series, and that will be just so disappointing. I'm not gonna lie, that would be so disappointing. It really would be. So yeah, I'm not saying right now whether I'm about to be incredibly disappointed. Previous times when things have gone wrong for me, I laugh at them. I find it amusing. But I think this time, if it goes wrong, if I fall, I don't think I'm going to be laughing. Yeah, I think you'll hear me sobbing if that happens. So hopefully you won't get to hear me cry in a second. So I think we'll be coming back into regular gameplay. Okay, it's looking good. It's looking good. All three shulkers are in place. Normally, the one nearest the elytra tends to get killed when it gets raided. Now, I made a little platform, so there's a possibility of saving myself if I fall. But at this height, I don't think I would survive. So I'm just taking it slow. I would have preferred to have been a little bit further over. So we're coming in. Right, we're going to have to go over just a little bit. I hate bridging in the end. I hate bridging high up. I am not comfortable right now. I am not going to lie, my hands are shaking, and I think I'm lined up and coming underneath the obsidian. So I come over one more. Right, we're going to go side over one as well. Ah! Just to come this far and to die would be absolutely heartbreaking. So just very gently, just change over. Okay. Alright. The rush here. Okay, so well, I made that advancement. Okay, we're just gonna have to break the obsidian. I was hoping to avoid doing that because it's gonna take forever, but alright, okay. Let's move forward just ever so slightly. Put that there. Okay, we're in, and we're alive. Right, let's get the sword. Let's get this sword. Get my shield. Let's get the gap just in case. Alright. Fingers crossed, guys. There's an elytra. Oh, you beautiful thing. Yes, there is. Let's just get rid of this guy. Oh, we did it. It's there. We did it. And only marginal cheating was involved in the fact that I went into used the world seed and went into a single player world. And there it is. Sky's the limit. Oh! I'm not gonna lie. My heart is pounding, my hands are sweating, and they are shaking like mad. But we did it. We have gotten the elytra on 2B2T with basic armor on foot. Right, well, thank you for watching, guys. Yes, I'm just making sure that would be really bad right now if I was paused. Alright, thank you for watching. It's been an experience, but this is the end of Diary of a Noob. Right, as I said I was going to do, wrong button. Okay, this can go back on the wall now for somebody else to find, which will confuse the hell out of them because it's obvious that somebody's been there. No, I'm going to keep it and we're going to rename it. So once I get sorted with my main account, there's enchantments over in the city, so we'll head over there in a little bit. Or I might come up with something. But anyway, yes, I'm wittering. I do apologise. So thank you for watching. We did it. We made it. We got it. Alright. Wishing you all the rest of your day. This is me signing off. Bye.